Serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Playing his starters that much.
Yeah,
I know
and you know what's funny
referenced
is
it.
David, he brought that up, and he just was like, if that call doesn't get reversed, I mean, J.J. Redick looks like a hero for playing those starters and riding them all the way out. And that's just kind of the way that these playoff decisions have to be made.
Well, we'll see more of it tonight. Clippers are at the Nuggets, a 10 p.m. tip-off in Game 5 for that tied series. Katie Wingy, you can see her, Altitude Sports Denver Nuggets reporter. Thanks, Katie. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Coming up next here on Amber and Ian, the Pacers eliminated the Bucks in a thriller tonight, 119-118 that came down to overtime. The Bucks are done in the postseason. Did we just see Giannis done in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform? We'll get into that next right here on ESPN Radio.
The NBA playoffs on ESPN Radio.
Edwards, right side three. Splash!
The Timberwolves win 2 straight in Minneapolis and take a 3-1 lead over the Lakers. Can LA survive a must-win Game 5? Coverage begins tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern with tip-off at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
We're here to protect people.
Officer John Nolan has proven he can keep up with the young cops and the criminals.
Try and stop me.
Nathan Fillion stars in The Rookie.
Let's get this done.
New episode Tuesday at 9/10 Mountain. Stream next day on Crave.
Lately, times have been challenging, with many people facing increased interest rates, inflation, and rising credit card debt. Everyone needs a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your personal finances. But you're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you with Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. They are one of the largest non-profit credit counseling organizations in the country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They could help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-318-1940. That's 1-800-318-1940. Let Consolidated Credit get you back to a debt-free life. Call 1-800-318-1940. Call toll-free today for a free consultation. 1-800-318-1940. Ontario license number 4705786.
Are you tired of lunch bag letdowns?
Yeah.
Do you want something made fresh?
Yeah.
Do you have $5.99?
Yeah.
If you answered yeah, it's time to get Subway 6-inch Italian BMT with freshly sliced deli meat or sweet onion chicken teriyaki with Canadian farm-raised chicken for just $5.99. Stick that in your mouth and eat it. Yeah. 2 freshly made 6-inch subs, only $5.99. Subway makes it fresh like that. Freshly prepared per order at participating restaurants. Extras, taxes, and delivery additional.
Yeah!
Okay, if you dig straight down past the center of the earth, are you still digging down or up?
Down.
But at some point, you're going away from the middle. Back up.
Down. You're heading deeper.
Sure, but at some point, you're going up, right?
Gravity says it's down.
Gravity! Dude, you failed science class.
C- is not a fail.
A short phone call can help reduce loneliness. That's why Bell believes that whatever you talk about, just talk.
I'm so glad you called, man, even if you don't know you're up from down.
It's up.
A1 Concrete Leveling is ready to handle all your concrete needs. Caulking, cleaning, sealing, leveling, and even foundation repair. A1 Concrete Leveling has you covered. Call 614-575-0123 for your free estimate today. With over 30 years of experience, we are Ohio's most trusted concrete experts. Our team prides itself on delivering top quality results and exceptional customer service. Contact them today at 614-575-0123 or go to concrete.com.
The Cub Cadet Ultimate Sales Event is here. Now through May 15th, save on select Cub Cadet lawn mowers, including zero turns and lawn tractors. Don't wait. Head to Buckeye Valley Equipment in Hebron today. Sale ends May 15th.
Offer valid April 3rd to May 15th, 2025 at participating Cub Cadet dealers and online at cubcadet.com. Prices may vary by retailer, may not be combined with any other discount or offer, and does not apply to prior purchases. Other restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Void where prohibited.
Halliburton hits the timeline with 7. Outside the arc with 5. Driving in the lane at the goal. He lays it in with 1 and 3/10 seconds to go. Milwaukee has no timeouts. They have to go the length. Ball is going to be played in by Antetokounmpo. He gets it to Trent, and this one is over. Unbelievable.
Sweet baby.
Giannis is done. Milwaukee's done. But is Giannis done in Milwaukee? Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and plenty more. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations. He's Ian. You find him at Ian Fitz ESPN. I'm Amber. You find me at Amber W Sports. So the Milwaukee Bucks are done. They lose to the Indiana Pacers 118-111 in overtime tonight. That knocks them out of the postseason. The Pacers ended the game on an 8-0 run to win by 1 singular point. They move on to the second round. Giannis, Ian, is the first player in NBA history to have 30 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists when facing elimination. No player had ever previously even had 20-20-10 when facing elimination. He was phenomenal tonight. It was not enough because there isn't enough around him, and in part because Dame's injured. But frankly, even if Dame was there,
they have tried to put pieces around him, and you can't predict injury, right? And I know Dallas Maverick fans are going to go, okay, Nico Harrison is going to go, oh, yeah, thank you. Hold on. You traded Luka. That's a whole different animal.
Well, you traded Luka for a guy who's injury prone.
Right.
Here, I guess I could argue with Dame. You traded for a guy in his mid-30s.
But for Milwaukee Buck fans and Giannis, Giannis knows they have tried to put pieces around him. Giannis has said that Milwaukee is my second home. It's all I've known. Now it's beyond fascinating to me, Amber, and I pose this question to you. One, first of all, we're not even doing it. Congrats to the Pacers. I mean, Indiana, well done. Halliburton, well done. Rick Carlisle, well done. You survive in advance. Congrats to the Indiana Pacers for moving on. Now everyone is going to turn their attention to the future of Giannis.
Right.
It's all about a focus group of one. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's a matter of what Giannis thinks and how he still views Milwaukee. That, to me, is all that matters. And congrats to Indiana. They move on and survive in advance. Now the future, as far as Milwaukee and a guy who has won Alario just a few short years ago, it's all about him. How does he feel about being in Milwaukee?
Giannis has said numerous times that Milwaukee is his second home. A third home's pretty nice, too. He could probably afford one of those. But he has said it's his second home. That's all well and good. But while simultaneously saying that, he's also applied a lot of pressure to that organization over the years, as he should, so that he doesn't have any regrets about staying there. But he certainly used the threat of leaving, used that people do have these conversations like you and I are having right now about his future there with that organization. He has used that as leverage to get the Bucks to do what he wants them to do, to put him in the best position to win championships.
You go get Dame Lillard. Right, and he did. They did.
And before that, like when it all started back in 2019. He's 1 year away from free agency. he makes it pretty clear that, hey, maybe, never say never. He was saying a lot of
Great
coded
point.
stuff. We were all having the conversations. Does he want to leave? And then he forces essentially the Bucks' hand to move. They trade a mountain of draft picks to get Drew Holiday, and it immediately pays off. So that one works out, secures his commitment for another few years. Then a couple years later, starts getting antsy again, starts talking about wanting to win championships and how he wants to win another championship, and that's what he's there for. The Bucks, they fire Bud. They bring in Adrian Griffin at that time, who was his choice at coach. They make the in-season coaching change to appease Giannis. Then they go ahead and, like you said, after that, they trade for Dame. So they've done these.
And you bring in Doc. I mean,
and then they end up bringing
lot.
in Doc. Yes, there you go. They end up making that next coaching change to Doc, also a change that Giannis wanted. So at every turn, that organization has showed to Giannis, we'll move when you encourage us to move. The problem is, I don't know how they move now.
I don't have an answer because of all the examples that you just gave. Bobby Marks, ESPN NBA front office insider on NBA Today, was talking about this very thing just in case this moment happened. Here's Bobby.
I think either player is going to be a challenge. I think they're going to probably be in the back of the line of teams that have more available. Certainly we're talking about maybe Houston as one of those teams that have young players and draft picks here. I think the big question in Miami, and this is not their DNA, would they ever use the R word, which is rebuild? I think that's something that it's very hard threading the needle. They've been a play-in team consistently the last few years. Would they ever consider taking a step back, potentially taking the Oklahoma City approach? And I know that was a lot of pain doing so, and basically build this roster through maybe you get a core player back and draft picks and going in that direction here, because it's going to be hard. Basically, they're going to be where they are right now a year from now if there are no changes here. So it might have to be taking a step back and not have to go and star chasing.
All right, so
that was Bobby talking about Giannis and Kevin Durant, possible landing destinations. And
Look,
there is an idea.
Would your Miami Heat be willing to pay Giannis $30 million a year?
Well, I would imagine so. I would imagine a lot of organizations would be willing to pay him that. He's got a player option in 2027 and then is a free agent after that. If he got traded, he'd be signing an extension somewhere. And
100%.
Most of the teams in the NBA would sign up for that. I think with Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think the bigger question is, what does he want? And I guess to Bobby's point, what's going to be the philosophy of my Heat, if we want to turn this into a Heat conversation moving forward? I think that the short answer to what Bobby just said, would they be willing to push the reset button? I think the short answer to that is no. Pat Riley's in his 80s. I don't think that they're going to be willing to reset anything when you're 80 years old, frankly, and build like OKC through the draft year after year after year and not be good for a while. I also don't necessarily think they need to do that, because we've seen them go from this very mediocre space to getting Jimmy Butler, which is why everybody thinks maybe they'll go after Giannis or maybe they'll go after Kevin Durant. And you heard him throw out Houston there as well. And that might be a more attractive destination, frankly, to either of those guys at this point. But Giannis will have options, Ian. The question is he going to utilize
Does he want to leave?
Right.
As he has reiterated many a time, Milwaukee is what?
His second home,
There you
but
go.
a third home in Miami is lovely. I can show him around the real estate, a nice home there on the water. A lot of people have third homes in Miami, so he'd fit right in down there. He should certainly consider it. Coming up next here on Amber and Ian, why it's Rocky Mountain Low right now, not Rocky Mountain High in Denver. That's next right here on ESPN Radio. You can also listen to us on the ESPN app.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here, and coming up on Wednesday, we'll react to a four-piece of NBA action before breaking down if the Lakers can extend their series against the T-Wolves. That's Wednesday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
They're coming in hot.
I'm in Costco, and this little Geppetto comes over to me, and he goes, "Hey, O-Dog, your beard's white, huh?" And I go, I go, what kind of stupid comment is that?
Probably spotted you 2 aisles over. Who knows what you were up to?
Well, I let me, before you keep going, I do look around at the grubby T-shirts because sometimes I just need a grubby
Yeah, that's a catch and release, right? You want to be in and out quick. Now, I'm not suggesting it was a good icebreaker.
I know, but dude...
Why wouldn't you say, do you think the Leafs will win tonight?
There you go.
Move.
So you went
Easiest
from defending him, and then you stopped your own self and
I understand.
said, I don't even care. One more person comes up and says, hey, Whitebeard, it's off.
No, you are a thin John Daly.
I thought he was going to say like a Clooney type.
Yeah, someone
a thin John
I'm
Daly.
talking the white beard.
Yes, you got the white beard. You
right?
do.
Dude,
which is way worse than the Costco guy.
Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog. Weekdays at 4 on TSN 1050.
When you own a small business, everything is personal, like how you connect with customers. Upswell can help make more new connections with direct response marketing services that target the right people. Upswell. More customers, period. Visit upswellmarketing.com/radio to get started.
Hey, it's Dolly. People have always commented on my scent, asking what I was wearing and where could they get it. Well, I have been blending my own scent for years, and now I'm sharing it with you. Dolly Scent from Above is the perfect gift for your mother, daughter, grandma, aunt, sister, or any special woman in your life that you wish to celebrate this Mother's Day. Dolly Scent from Above, available now at Walmart stores and walmart.com.
TSN 1050 is giving away Leafs tickets to every home playoff game. We want the most passionate fans to be in the building. Here's how you can win. Listen to First Up and Overdrive on the iHeartRadio app for at least 15 minutes straight. You can enter twice a day. The more times you listen, the better your shot at winning. Before each home game, First Up will be calling one devoted fan with a pair of tickets.
I believe in miracles. Let's go, boys.
Feel it. Live it. Love it.
Uneven sidewalks, driveways, or patios, A1 Concrete Leveling is your solution. Our advanced technology can fix your concrete problems without the cost and mess of replacement. We offer free on-site evaluations and estimates. Don't let uneven concrete be a tripping hazard. Protect your property value by addressing these issues before they worsen. With decades of experience, we've earned the trust of homeowners and businesses alike. Call us for a quote today at 614-575-0123. A1 Concrete Leveling, your trusted local concrete leveling experts.
The Cub Cadet Ultimate Sales Event is here. Now through May 15th, save on select Cub Cadet lawn mowers, including zero turns and lawn tractors. Don't wait. Head to Buckeye Valley Equipment in Hebron today. Sale ends May 15th.
Offer valid April 3rd to May 15th, 2025 at participating Cub Cadet dealers and online at cubcadet.com. Prices may vary by retailer, may not be combined with any other discount or offer, and does not apply to prior purchases. Other restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Void where prohibited.
Most people don't belong to 2 gyms, see 2 dentists, or trust 2 auto repair shops. When customers choose your small business, they're really choosing you. Get chosen more than your competition with Upswell. Our personal, refined, and targeted approach to direct response marketing has helped fuel more than 10,000 small business success stories. Because when people get to know your business, you get to know them as customers. Upswell. More customers, period. Visit upswellmarketing.com/radio for 10% off your first month. New customers only.
But the Magic not going away quietly. They are up on the Celtics 36-28 in the second. Meanwhile, the Pacers look to close out their series with the Bucks, but after Indy trailed by 6 at the half, they rallied and had a chance to tie it up at the end of regulation.
Indiana down by 2. Halliburton moving to his left. Driving with his right hand. He's in the lane. He's at the goal, and he dunked.
And with the Pacers trailing by 1 in overtime, they went back to their superstar once again.
Here comes Halliburton. Hits the timeline with 7. Outside the arc with 5. Driving in the lane at the goal. He lays it in with 1 and 3/10 seconds to go. Milwaukee has no timeouts. They have to go the length. Ball is going to be played in by Antetokounmpo. He gets it to Trent, and this one is over.
The calls on 97.1 a ticket. That go-ahead layup with 1.3 seconds left lifted the Pacers to a 119-118 victory and a series win while eliminating the Bucks in the first round for the second straight season. Halliburton 26-10 as he improved to 9-0 in home playoff games. College hoops on the heels of Sacramento State hiring Shaquille O'Neal as general manager, Mike Bibby as head coach. Ex-Prep phenom Mikey Williams told ESPN Shams Charania that he's committed to play for the Hornets.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here, and coming up on Wednesday, we'll react to a four-piece of NBA action before breaking down if the Lakers can extend their series against the T-Wolves. That's Wednesday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Rolling along here on Amber and Ian, presented to you by Progressive Insurance, reacting to all of the NBA postseason action, plus keeping you updated on the hockey as well. We'll be reacting to more of it coming up next on ESPN Radio. But first, let's find out what's a big deal and what's not a big deal.
It's making headlines.
Extra, read all about it.
But is it a big deal or not a big deal with Amber and Ian?
And our producer, Tara Slajeski. Hello again, Tara.
Hello, Amber and Ian.
¿Qué pasa, señorita?
The Colorado Rockies are currently trailing the Atlanta Braves tonight. The Rockies have lost 7 consecutive games coming into the night. They already have an 8-game losing streak this season and could become just the 3rd team in Major League Baseball history to record multiple losing streaks of 8 or more games before the start of May. The Rockies are currently 4-24 overall, which is the worst 28-game start by a National League team ever. And in case you were wondering, this is a worse start than last year's Chicago White Sox got off to. Big deal, not a big deal, Ian.
Oh my God, not a big deal. Not because of what you just said. It's Colorado. It was the White Sox. I'm sorry. I feel for you. I'm a Cubs fan. I remember when Mark Grace was parading a goat around Wrigley Field going, can we please stop an 0-17 start to our home season back in like 1987, I think. Sorry. No one cares. Not a big deal.
I think it's kind of a big deal that we're not talking about it because I feel like we did talk about it with the White Sox a bunch. Like, no, I didn't even know. Honestly, I was not paying attention to the Colorado Rockies at all. I've got to be honest with you. Tara just rattling off how historically bad it was. I knew they were bad. I don't feel like anybody's really talking enough about how historically terrible.
That's why it's not a big deal.
I guess it depends how you look at it. It's certainly not a good deal. I can tell you that.
No, that's a fact.
From one end of the spectrum on the diamond to the other end, the New York Yankees just beat the Baltimore Orioles 15-3. That's great news for anyone who took Yankees money line tonight.
Thank you.
The Yankees became the first team in Major League history to open a game with 3 consecutive home runs more than once in a season when Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge, and Ben Rice went deep off Baltimore's Kyle Gibson to start tonight's game. And now for some Aaron Judge incredible facts. He went 2 for 3 tonight with a home run. He's now batting .412 on the season with a 1,235 OPS. Judge is the second player in Yankees history to reach base at least 69 times in the team's first 30 games of a season, joining 1931 Lou Gehrig. Judge is also the 4th player in the expansion era since 1960 with 45 hits and 20 walks within his team's first 30 games of a season.
We get it. Yeah,
big deal or not a big deal, Amber?
Right.
It's not a big deal that Aaron Judge is good because we all thought Aaron Judge was going to be good and he's supposed to be good. So, and he's supposed to be a power hitter. So from that perspective, that's not a big deal. I do think that them opening multiple games there with 3 straight home runs is a big deal because that's fun.
Big deal for my wallet. Yeah, because we were fiscally invested. But
yes,
damn, Tara, all those stats. I mean, good Lord. Yeah, big deal because of that. There you go. There it is.
Aaron Judge, good at baseball.
He's good at baseball.
That guy.
Right,
That's not a big deal, though, because I feel like we knew that.
Have one more baseball.
Mercy.
Have one more baseball story on the Cincinnati Reds broadcast on Monday night. A fun story was shared about how Reds manager Terry Francona recently returned from a road trip to discover that the water in his condo was turned off. It turns out that Francona thought the bill was on auto pay and he failed to pay it. He also apparently had like 4 months worth of mail because he just doesn't check his mail. Terry Francona, very locked in during the season. Big deal or not a big deal, Ian?
I love Tito Francona. And I call him Tito going back to my days of him managing the Birmingham Barons. And if you don't remember Terry Francona, Tito Francona, managing the Barons, you know who was one of his star players?
Michael Jordan.
That's the guy. Yeah. So anything Tito does, he is so locked in and such a great human being. And nothing surprising. Big deal, not a big deal? No, not a big deal to me because he is that locked in. He does not care about anything else except for family and ball club when he's a skipper of any team, whether it's the Birmingham Barons or the Guardians or the Reds. That's or by the way, winning World Series as a skipper for the Red Sox. That's Tito. There you go. Not a big deal.
We've seen Terry Francona try to quit baseball multiple times, and he can't do it because he loves baseball so much. So I am not surprised at all. This is not a big deal that Terry Francona would have no sort of life balance there and would allow his water bill to lapse. Also,
why
I'm
is
not
the air
sure
conditioning not on, Amber? Why is the AC not? Oh, I forgot to pay the bill.
I forgot to pay the bill. I'm not surprised also that he's not a fan of the auto pay. I feel like that adds up, right? I too have had my water shut off a few times over the course of my lifetime for forgetting to pay water bills for whatever reason. So I get it and the way that it could slip through the cracks, but auto pay, man, it's a lifesaver with all that kind of stuff for me.
This is a prime example of how I have to pass before my wife. Because
she takes care of all that stuff?
Yes! One high before my bride. Because my kids are cooked as Christmas dinner. There will be no power. There will be no water. I mean,
your kids are at an age now though where they get to help you set it up on auto pay. So I feel like you'd end up, you could be okay. Now I don't know about any other aspect of your life without your wife, but I feel like maybe
Rachel Robinson, our AP, is shaking her head, going, "No."
You don't think Rowan could like set him up on auto pay with the electric company?
It's the auto pay with Ian because then something weird would happen and he'd have to go back on the computer, and then Rowan and Marion would just like give up trying to explain it. Like I can see it in my head.
I'm done.
Yeah, that's when it would be a mess. That's when it's caught me, is like when something happens with the auto pay and my water bill and I don't notice it, and because I'm relying on
I
that.
am Tito Francona.
Then you're screwed.
Yep. So big deal, yes, but I'm an idiot like he is. There you go.
If Terry Francona is one of those guys too that we are just all better off when he is managing a baseball
100%. Awesome.
Because he has no work-life balance. That's why.
And he is a phenomenal soundbite. He's awesome.
So we're going to end here with the continuing saga of Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. I really don't even know how to summarize this one. So yesterday it was all about the super awkward CBS Morning interview where Belichick was promoting his book, and then she wouldn't let him tell them how they met. And things got awkward, and apparently she held up the interview and kept correcting him too. So today on her Instagram, she posted an email written earlier this month by Belichick regarding his book, and then she put the message full statement to be released later today. Apparently she hasn't released a statement yet, but I'm not going to read this whole email. But
please do.
She's Belichick's PR person, and I'm okay. Big deal, not a big deal. I don't know where else to go with this.
How long is the email? First of all, that she, or statement that she listed?
It was an email.
I mean, it's a few paragraphs. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be written by him, but our friend Albert Breer pointed out on Twitter that there are some things in here that kind of make you go, Bill Belichick did not write this email.
Oh, baby. All right.
Interesting.
There
Yeah,
you
I mean,
go.
he does sign. It is saying thanks BB is how it's signed. So it's supposed to be from him.
BB? He ain't signing anything named BB. Okay, go ahead.
I do think that this is all a little bit of a big deal for Bill Belichick, who is now in a position where recruiting is incredibly important. So how he appeals to people is very, very important. And honestly, I don't think it's the worst. I don't know. Hell, we don't know how they met. We're not going to find out how they met, right? But I'm not saying that he's with her for any of this, but I did think that, hey, he's dating a younger woman. She's involved with him from a business perspective. That might not be terrible in terms of how he's going to relate to the younger generation, right? Maybe she can give him some pointers and some advice there, kind of thing, from a PR perspective, because it seems like that's how she's approaching the business of things with him. But how it can work against you, Ian, is when it starts going this direction and people are going to pounce on it and it looks bad and you can't look bad. It's a very different situation than Bill was in the NFL. The NFL, you ain't recruiting. The NFL, you're not impressing parents. In the NFL, you can be incredibly short to the media and you can be a jerk for 20 years and it doesn't actually matter because you're winning Super Bowls. And that's not the game that you're playing in college.
So the email's a lot about, like, Belichick seems unhappy with how the book's being presented. And so now I do want to highlight this one sentence. Quote, "This book is about how I did my job and lessons from my 50 years in and around the NFL. Not a bathroom book that highlights my mistakes."
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in the CBS, Sunday morning conversation, he was posed the question. Tom Brady is not even mentioned in the index.
Robert Kraft.
It was Kraft and not Brady. Sorry, the other one. And then it was a very awkward whatever exchange about Tom Brady, but him not being able to win, and Tom did go win a Super Bowl. And then it gets to, how did you meet your girlfriend? And she chimes in, "We are not getting into that." End quote.
So weird.
And he looked over and didn't say a word. It was awkward. It was remarkable. And it was damn fascinating. So who is in charge of UNC football right now? Is it Bill Belichick or is it Bill Belichick's girlfriend?
Right. And I'm to the point where this is cringy, right? Because I feel like at first when it came out he was dating this girl, there were a lot of people who were like, good for him.
Yeah,
He's
younger-
like,
younger-
people had fun with it. I kind
They're
of
on the
always
beach.
thought it was cringy, but like at this, like everyone now thinks this is cringy, right? Like this is just.
I mean, the age disparity is going to rub some people the wrong way. Obviously.
I don't care about that. I mean, it's to me, who's running UNC football? Is it Bill Belichick or is it the girlfriend?
Well, I don't think we need to paint Bill Belichick. I've been seeing this too. Like, Bill, if you're being held hostage, blink twice. And I'm like, okay, why are we painting this young girl in like this incredibly negative light? I don't necessarily think that we need to do that either. Obviously, Bill Belichick is a grown, incredibly accomplished man. And so he should be able to handle himself and he should be handling himself. So to me, this is on Bill, not on Jordan Hudson, if this thing, in fact, goes a bit south from a public relations perspective. He can control his own messaging. He could have said during that interview, I'm not going to discuss how I met my girlfriend. He could say that. She doesn't have to say that.
When she said, we're not getting into how we met, he could have easily, to your point, said, no, I'm good.
Right, or he could
I'll
have
tell
said,
the story
we're not
how
going to
we
discuss
met.
that. That's
Yeah.
fine too. Or, I mean, they're also walking this other line because it is very common practice in our industry when you're interviewing somebody. It is pretty common for their PR people or their team to sometimes step in and say they're not answering that question. Like that does happen often. The problem is she's not just his team or his PR person. She's his girlfriend, and that's very public. And so there's a certain look to it, especially when the reporter's asking about their relationship. And so all of it from an optics perspective, not going well for old Bill. And I guess that's what I think's interesting about it, because I do wonder if that harms him on the recruiting trail at all, because he is playing a very different game than he was in the NFL. We'll see. He's still Bill Belichick. He's still a Super Bowl winning coach. as many times over as he is. So we'll see how it plays. Coming up next, will the Pistons be able to extend their series against the Knicks? We'll keep you updated on live action. Talk about what we've seen. That's right here on ESPN Radio.
The NBA playoffs on ESPN Radio.
Edwards, right side three.
Splash! The Timberwolves win 2 straight in Minneapolis and take a 3-1 lead over the Lakers. Can LA survive a must-win Game 5? Coverage begins tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern with tip-off at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Indeed.
From dreamer to doer, it's about finding the right path and the right people to walk alongside you. At Indiana Wesleyan University, we help dreamers become doers through flexible learning pathways, including online, hybrid, and on-campus opportunities, accessible tuition, incredible community, and intentional faculty who make world-changing connections. The road ahead? It's closer than you think. With Indiana Wesleyan, start today at discovertheway.com. From dreamer to doer, it's about finding the right path and the right people to walk alongside you. At Indiana Wesleyan University, we help dreamers become doers through flexible learning pathways, including online, hybrid, and on-campus opportunities, accessible tuition, incredible community, and intentional faculty who make world-changing connections. The road ahead? It's closer than you think. With Indiana Wesleyan, start today at discovertheway.com.
The Cub Cadet Ultimate Sales Event is here. Now through May 15th, save on select Cub Cadet lawn mowers, including zero turns and lawn tractors. Don't wait. Head to Buckeye Valley Equipment in Hebron today. Sale ends May 15th.
Offer valid April 3rd to May 15th, 2025 at participating Cub Cadet dealers and online at cubcadet.com. Prices may vary by retailer, may not be combined with any other discount or offer, and does not apply to prior purchases. Other restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Void where prohibited.
A1 Concrete Leveling is ready to handle all your concrete needs. Caulking, cleaning, sealing, leveling, and even foundation repair. A1 Concrete Leveling has you covered. Call 614-575-0123 for your free estimate today. With over 30 years of experience, we are Ohio's most trusted concrete experts. Our team prides itself on delivering top quality results and exceptional customer service. Contact them today at 614-575-0123 or go to a1concrete.com.
Sometimes finding your way means following your heart, even if you don't know where it might lead.
No matter where I went, a part of me would always be here.
An all-new Sullivan's Crossing, Sunday at 7/8 Central on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Most people don't belong to 2 gyms, see 2 dentists, or trust 2 auto repair shops. When customers choose your small business, they're really choosing you. Get chosen more than your competition with Upswell. Our personal, refined, and targeted approach to direct response marketing has helped fuel more than 10,000 small business success stories. Because when people get to know your business, you get to know them as customers. Upswell. More customers, period. Visit upswellmarketing.com/radio for 10% off your first month. New customers only.
Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Bet till your hands bleed.
We're 12-7-1 against the number since the Super Bowl, so let's try and keep it rolling. Give us the Clippers tonight. -1 and a hook on ESPN Bet. Never get beaten by that little hook. Buy it down to 1. Give us the Clippers. -1. Bet till your hands bleed.
That game tips off 10 p.m. Eastern, so in about 10 minutes from now, that game will tip. And the live action will be covered here, of course, throughout the evening on ESPN Radio. Tied series, hell of a series. We've gotten some crazy games tonight in the NBA. Right now, speaking of ties, Detroit, New York tied, 83 apiece, 8 minutes left in the fourth. This thing is hard fought. They're
physical.
Bodies falling all over the place. The Milwaukee Bucks, they got eliminated earlier tonight, 1 point against the Indiana Pacers in overtime. 1 point. Another very physical, hard-fought game. They were fighting after the game. An NBA fight, no real punches.
Yeah, I was going to say pushing and shoving.
Deals, pushing, shoving, hold me back, yada, yada. Right. Everyone drags Giannis out of there immediately, obviously. But nevertheless, a lot of chippiness across the NBA. That's been fun this postseason. I expect more of it tonight with Clippers, Nuggets. That's a heck of a series. And the way that Kawhi has been playing, I think is surprising people, Ian, even though we shouldn't be surprised with Kawhi Leonard. But
no,
we're not used to seeing him do well in a Clippers uniform, I guess.
I disagree with that. You can, because he has been so manufactured, right? The last couple of years, and meaning when I say manufactured, it's him controlling, his narrative, his body, and any team doc that disagreed with him as to how his body felt. Guess what? He's on. He's moving on from San Antonio to Toronto to L.A. and the amount of time that he has missed with the Clippers. Now, here we have him, and to end the regular season, right? They went 18-3 over the last 21 games of the season. He was remarkable.
Yep. He's been
James Harden has been remarkable. I'm betting on the Clippers to close this damn thing out tonight. Or not. Well, not close it out. It's
not close it outside, but
it's 2-2, right? Yeah, but
to take
to
the
go
momentum
and
back.
steal a game in Denver. I mean, I've got them. Minus 1.5, bought it down to 1. I'm bet to your hands bleed. I fully expect the Clippers to close this thing out when they get back to LA.
What was crazy to me, because I think we all think of Kawhi Leonard not really playing for the Clippers, right? Especially in 100%. The postseason. I think that's the impression that we all have. Well, he surpassed Paul George for sole possession of third place on the Clippers' all-time playoff points list. He now has 900 points through 32 playoff games with the Clippers.
Does that show you how pathetic that the Clippers' playoff records
1,000%.
But
also,
Paul
when the
George
hell did Kawhi play?
Record holder? Yeah, you know where I was going with
that.
that.
When the hell did Kawhi play 32 playoff games for the Clippers? When did that
how
happen?
is Paul George your all-time leading playoff scorer? There you go. That tells you everything you need to know about Clipper playoff history.
Yeah, the history is not so robust. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin are on that list, on the Clippers' all-time postseason scoring list. It's not an organization, obviously, with the ton of history there in terms of the postseason record books. But nevertheless, Kawhi has been playing insane. He's been playing out of his mind. And I've been a little tickled by the fact that people are having those conversations about Kawhi being the best player in the league all of a sudden while he's playing against Jokic. That's got to be annoying for Jokic, because Jokic this season, Ian, the best season of Jokic's career, is now probably losing an MVP award to SGA. We've been hearing all season
and they
how
fired
valuable...
their coach.
What?
And they fired their coach.
They fired their coach, but I think Jokic might have wanted that. But you're right, to your point, kind of a mess of a narrative surrounding that team. And with Jokic personally, he's not probably the MVP, even though he's playing out of his mind. And now in this series, people are arguing that Kawhi is the best player in the league suddenly and not Jokic. It's got to be weird for Jokic.
I'm sure it is. And I hope that, just from my focus group of 1, hey, Clippers cover the 1.5.
Yeah.
Bought down to 1 on ESPN bet. Now I have a question for you.
Yes. Let's get personal.
I have my older daughter, who's a freshman at Oregon. We went and bought her a new vehicle, but not a new vehicle. But anyway, she gets to come home.
Got her a vehicle fund.
She kept her academic scholarship, and I'm so proud of her. Now she's getting angry with her younger sister, who is driving said vehicle. How, as a dad, do I handle this?
Well, but she's not using it yet, right? Like, she's at Oregon. Her younger sister is where the car is located.
Correct.
So what's the problem? Is the younger sister not going to take care of it when she borrows it?
The older sister doesn't want the younger sister driving said vehicle.
Like, she doesn't want her germs on it? What are we doing?
Great question. It's getting nasty. How do I handle it?
My brother gave me his car when I turned 16. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even had a car. I don't know, man. I think you just tell her you're getting a car. Calm down. It'll be in one piece when you get it, and that's that.
Rachel Robinson just leaned in, going, "Yes, that okay."
When she actually gets possession of the car, she'll be just fine. Game night's coming up next.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Wednesday. Now that the dust is settled, I'll tell you what success looks like for all the quarterbacks taken in this year's draft. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From dreamer to doer, it's about finding the right path and the right people to walk alongside you. At Indiana Wesleyan University, we help dreamers become doers through flexible learning pathways, including online, hybrid, and on-campus opportunities, accessible tuition, incredible community, and intentional faculty who make world-changing connections. The road ahead? It's closer than you think. With Indiana Wesleyan. Start today at discovertheway.com.
Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, FDA approved for over 20 years. So, talk to your specialist to see if Botox Cosmetic is right for you.
For full prescribing information, including boxed warning, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
Remember to ask for Botox Cosmetic by name. To see for yourself and learn more, visit BotoxCosmetic.com. That's BotoxCosmetic.com.
The Cub Cadet Ultimate Sales Event is here. Now through May 15th, save on select Cub Cadet lawn mowers, including zero turns and lawn tractors. Don't wait. Head to Buckeye Valley Equipment in Hebron today. Sale ends May 15th.
Offer valid April 3rd to May 15th, 2025 at participating Cub Cadet dealers and online at cubcadet.com. Prices may vary by retailer, may not be combined with any other discount or offer, and does not apply to prior purchases. Other restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Void where prohibited.
Hey, it's Dolly. People have always commented on my scent, asking what I was wearing and where could they get it. Well, I have been blending my own scent for years, and now I'm sharing it with you. Dolly Scent from Above is the perfect gift for your mother, daughter, grandma, aunt, sister, or any special woman in your life that you wish to celebrate this Mother's Day. Dolly Scent from Above, available now at Walmart stores and walmart.com.
Uneven sidewalks, driveways, or patios, A1 Concrete Leveling is your solution. Our advanced technology can fix your concrete problems without the cost and mess of replacement. We offer free on-site evaluations and estimates. Don't let uneven concrete be a tripping hazard. Protect your property value by addressing these issues before they worsen. With decades of experience, we've earned the trust of homeowners and businesses alike. Call us for a quote today at 614-575-0123. A1 Concrete Leveling, your trusted local concrete leveling experts.
We're here to protect people.
Officer John Nolan has proven he can keep up with the young cops and the criminals.
Try and stop me.
Nathan Fillion stars in The Rookie.
Let's get this done.
New episode Tuesday at 9/10 Mountain. Stream next day on Crave.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
CHUM AM Toronto is TSN 1050, an iHeart radio station, and the voice of Toronto sports. Is Sports Center.
New York looks to close out their series with Detroit. I'm Chris Smith, but it's a tight one in the Empire State. The Pistons hold a slight edge over New York, 91-90, 5:01 left in the fourth. Over at the Garden, Boston looks to finish off Orlando, but the Magic's Franz Wagner has dropped in 17 points, and they are up on the Celts 49-47 at the break. And in the game of the day, Tyrese Halliburton blew past Giannis Antetokounmpo for the go-ahead layup with 1.3 seconds left in OT to give the Pacers the 119-118 victory and a series win. The Pacers closed out the game on an 8-0 run over the final 40 seconds of OT to eliminate the Bucks in the first round for the second straight season. Meanwhile, the Nuggets will have Russell Westbrook available to play in Game 5 of their series with the Clippers, with that series tied at 2 games apiece. On to baseball, where the Yankees battered Baltimore's pitching staff.
Gibson deals. Pitch swing on, line drive, right field. Laureano going back. He's looking up. That's good. Oh, baby. Ben Rice, line drive, home run, just above the scoreboard in right field. It's 3-0 Yankees. Hey now.
The call on WFAN, the Yankees became the first team in Major League history to open a game with 3 consecutive home runs more than once in a season. When Grisham, Judge, and Rice went deep, it was part of 6 solo homers and a 15-3 thumping of the Orioles. And the Mets could be without left-hander A.J. Minter, one of their top relievers for the remaining of the season, according to their manager, Carlos Mendoza. The Minter, seeking multiple opinions, is contemplating season-ending surgery to repair his left lat, with the other option being rest and rehab.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, my Lakers face an elimination game against the Wolves. I'll tell you why it's going to be a referendum on head coach J.J. Redick. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is
quick throw, what a catch! Highlight reel, touchdown!
Is
crossing over, steps back, another 3. Got it! Right down the chute.
Game night.
Swing and a drive. It's ball game.
Game night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Ton going on tonight. Some would say maybe a little bit too much. This is Game Night on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. I'm Jonathan Zaslow. She's Courtney Cronin. Courtney, sometimes there are moments in the sports seasonal calendar where you need to take a step back and just acknowledge there's a little bit too much going on. It feels like that right now.
I'm sick. I'm sick because I just watched the Pacers and Bucks. I don't have a dog in the fight, but the way that game ended, on top of trying to watch Orlando and Boston and watching the Knicks trying to close out the Pistons, I'm with you. It's sports overload, but it is a beautiful time in the sports calendar, and we will take it because I promise you, Zaz, when we're doing the show in July, we will be wishing for this moment right here, right now.
Oh man, so it's like I don't have enough screens to be able to keep track of everything in real time. We got 4 NBA playoff game 5s today. We have 4 Stanley Cup playoff games. Anyway, the game of the night, at least right now, because I don't know where the rest of the night's going to take us. And by the way, the Knicks and the Pistons right now, they're late in their contest. That one's coming down to the wire. 5 minutes to go in that one. Pistons 2-point lead at the Knicks, trying to remain alive. But the game of the night took place in Indianapolis, okay? I mean, that game was bananas. So the Pacers in Indianapolis are looking to close out the Bucks. The game winds up going to overtime. And by the way, the final possession of regulation, it's like the Bucks just said, "Here, Tyrese Halliburton, dunk the ball with 10 seconds left." Courtney, I looked at my son and I was like, what is that? And he actually said, which maybe he's right, it feels like the Bucks defense was, look, give up anything but a 3 so we can at least have the ball back with a chance to win it with 10 seconds left. It was so weird.
It was such a bend, don't break moment, and I hated that. I hated that sort of defeatist attitude by Milwaukee to just let Tyrese Halliburton have a clear lane, tie up the game. But even worse than that, Giannis has been incredible. Like, this series, he's been incredible, and he's had to do it without Damian Lillard, has Damian Lillard back, Damian Lillard now out because of the Achilles rupture. To watch him get a triple-double tonight and then take that 3 at the end of regulation, go to the rack, man, close it out, make this thing go back to Milwaukee. Instead, he misses that shot. Questionable selection there. Before that, Bobby Portis, I don't know why the heck he was taking that shot. When Giannis is literally on fire, you let the guy with the triple-double shoot, but nonetheless, it felt like, I don't want to say choke, because that was it was something that happened to not Giannis. That was a Gary Trent moment at the end of the game, but it felt like they cowered in a moment where they should have taken over the game, won it in regulation, and we're talking about a game 6. Instead, The thing goes to overtime. The Pacers are down 7 with 40 seconds to go.
Right.
And to watch that get erased as efficiently and as quickly as it did by Milwaukee letting them erase it. I want to give the Pacers credit opening the game away, and it stinks.
It was such a meltdown. I mean, Giannis had an incredible game, all right, but also the support from Gary Trent Jr. So Gary Trent Jr. here puts Milwaukee at... Gary Trent Jr. started the game 0 for 7 from 3. 0 for 7. He then winds up hitting 8 of his next 9, including this one here, to put Milwaukee up 4 late in overtime.
Gary Trent going to try another 3, and he hits again. He is a Pacers killer. 33 points for Gary Trent Jr. 2 games removed from 37.
A call courtesy of WTMJ Milwaukee. Gary Trent Jr. there puts them up by 4. You get a Giannis basket, a free throw from Green shortly after that. And with 40 seconds left in overtime, it is Milwaukee 118 to 111. They are looking like they are going to send the series back to Milwaukee for a Game 6. Nembhard hits a 3 for Indiana, makes it 118-114. Then, after such good work from Gary Trent to help put them in this position, he throws the ball away on the inbounds pass. So now Indiana's able to come up the floor. Tyrese Halliburton, 3-point play, basket, and the foul makes it 118-117. Okay, Milwaukee's got the ball here. Just don't throw it away. They bring the ball into the front court. Gary Trent Jr., an easy pass. He's all by himself. The ball skirts right through his hands, between his legs, out of bounds, and then Tyrese Halliburton has a chance here to win it.
Here comes Halliburton. Hits the timeline with 7. Outside the arc with 5. Driving in the lane at the goal. He lays it in with 1 3/10 seconds to go. Milwaukee has no timeouts. They have to go the length. Ball is going to be played in by Antetokounmpo. He gets it to Trent, and this one is over. Unbelievable.
Sweet baby.
Incredible meltdown from the Milwaukee Bucks. And by the way, Halliburton gets the layup. It's the game-winning layup. There's 1.2 on the clock. I get it, Courtney, that it's only 1.2 on the clock. But Giannis just flips the ball in bounds. They chuck up an 80-foot shot. Can you at least throw it into the front court, try and do something? It was such a give-up inbounds pass, and I guess that's exactly what it was. Like, we give up. This is over.
Do you remember last week when The Athletic came out with their superlatives going into the postseason, or really at the start of the postseason, where players were, most overrated, most heralded? Tyrese Halliburton was named the number 1 most overrated player in the NBA by his peers in the NBA. 26 points tonight, including the game tying basket in regulation, and then the game winner in overtime. Who's last? And the funny thing was, you think, okay, emotions are running high. The Bucks are just going to try to get out of there. The Pacers are celebrating. He's on the scorer's table, cheering with the fans.
Oh, it got ugly.
They're getting into it again. Like, these two teams have played. Like, there should be a rule. No more first-round series between Milwaukee and the Pacers because it's getting ugly. Like, they were getting in each other's faces.
Well, it's Giannis and Halliburton's father, Courtney.
Yeah, and, it's just, it was such a weird way for this thing to end. Like, just go, let them go in peace. Like, this has been such a brutal meltdown of the last couple of years.
It's been a season from hell for Milwaukee. It really has.
And seeing how, what was the stat you read to me earlier? That, it's almost jarring to think Giannis has lost 11.
10 of his last 11.
10 of his last 11 playoff games.
Yeah.
Think about that. It doesn't feel like they're that far removed from the championship team, but obviously now, 4 seasons removed from winning it in 2021, we're talking about, is this the end for Giannis? And for him, for the fans, to remember him going out this way, that they had a chance, and then they blew it. They absolutely blew it down the stretch. What a sour ending to his, potential, his end of his career in Milwaukee before he asked to go somewhere else this offseason, because it feels like that's inevitable. That's where the conversation is going. but they had a chance. He played his best game of the series tonight, Zaz.
Well, and Courtney, for Tyrese Halliburton, like you mentioned there, who was voted most overrated player in that survey last week from The Athletic, voted most overrated player by his peers, Tyrese Halliburton may have just ended the Milwaukee Bucks as we presently know them. Like, that's an incredible thing that we may have seen tonight.
The Pacers did it the last 2 years. The first-round series last year, that got chippy. They played a ton of times in the regular season. We saw how this thing went. It's crazy to think how different it would have been had Dame been healthy from the start, had he not had to come back, play more minutes than he was probably capable of, the Achilles rupture, all the things that you couldn't prepare for. But this team was just never synced up on the same timeline with one another this year. They got off to the god-awful start where people are calling for Doc Rivers' job in the month of December.
Oh, that's going to continue.
And that is just bringing it right back full circle to where it started this year, given how this thing ended in such, honestly, I don't even know what the right word is here outside of choke, but you laid down and let that happen. You laid down and let that happen to you. When this game, you were up by 20 at one point in regulation.
Incredible. So Indiana advances. Milwaukee is done. They win tonight in